Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Do you know how many people have died of heart disease of recent? And because of the increasing number of people that have been dying of heart disease, people are now more conscious about what they put into their mouth and what they eat and drink. This is because if you take a lot of fatty food, you can have clogged arteries, and eventually the clogged arteries can lead to the death of the person. Now, my presentation is on gas hydrates, prediction and inhibition in a laboratory hydrate loop. Do you know why hydrates are very important, or why we need to look at hydrates? Because they are similar to what clogged arteries can do to the body system. So in the offshore environment, we usually have pipelines that travel long distances to transfer oil from the wellhead, which is like the heart of the person, to production facilities, which are like the different organs in the body. And when these pipelines are blocked by what we call hydrates, there is no flow, and what eventually happens is that there is no, the petroleum fluid cannot be sold to anybody. And of course, the life of the petroleum facility, dies. Hydrates are non-stoichiometric crystalline compounds. They are formed at very high pressure and low temperature in the presence of water and gas. And the petroleum fluid, the two types of hydrates we are interested in is type 1 and type 2 gas hydrates. Because our fluid contains propane, ethane, methane, which forms these hydrates. And it is a major flow assurance problem. Now, in solving this problem, what I did was to try to simulate what happens in the offshore environment by experimentally. So the equipment you see here has a submerged 316 stainless steel pipeline that is covered with a PVC pipe. And the 316 stainless steel pipeline represents the subsea flow line that is constantly being surrounded by cold water, because the PVC blue pipe you're seeing here is constantly surrounded by cold water. In the next slide I'll be showing to you, I'll be showing you how I'll be showing you the process flow diagram and how we designed the equipment and the parameters that we are focusing on during every experiment. So this is the 316 stainless steel pipe, and this is the PVC pipe. So this represents our subsea flow line, and we have cold water surrounding it every time. So we pass in our reactants, which is the hydrate forming gas, which is methane gas, and these are cooling units that generates the cold water to simulate what happens in subsea environment. So since hydrates is like I showed in the first slide, I told you hydrate is formed at elevated pressure and cold temperature. That's why we have a couple of pressure and temperature gauges to check what happens along the process. So in the next slide, I'll be telling you how we're able to measure hydrate formation. Because when hydrate forms, the effective diameter of the pipe reduces. So that means the difference in pressure between the inlet and outlet part of the loop will likely rise. So in this figure here, the differential pressure increased at about 110 10 minutes in the experiment, and we also see a rise, or there's a rise in temperature about that time. This shows that hydrate formation has occurred, and eventually when we depressurize the loop, the effluent from the loop shows evidence of hydrate formation. The whitish substance here shows that hydrate formation occurred, and the substance quickly dissociated, and we had water. The next slide I'll be showing to you shows how we were able to measure the effectiveness of some inhibitors. Now, hydrate formation, like I already said, is okay. So in this chart here is the chart of pressure against time. The loop works as a constant volume equipment, so we load in the reactants. A reduction in pressure shows that hydrate formation occurred, and the inhibitor was not effective. So these two inhibitors were more effective than the 2-dimethyl-ethyl methacrylate. So where we are now, we've done all of these in orange button. We are at the point where we are developing criteria for screening and ranking inhibitors. And I'm also hoping to improve the equipment. Thank you.
Okay. How did that feel? How did that go?